Okay, I'll start again. Great. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Coaches Corner Q&A, Ask an Expert. My name is Sisha Maharaj, and I'm a Senior Consultant, Business Development and External Relations with Devant. And our Devant team is there on the right. As you can see, we have a great team of professionals and individuals working behind the scenes to help you succeed in Canada. And today, I am so thrilled that you are here during exam time. So good luck to everyone who's working on exams or studying. You have a great opportunity to prepare and ask specific questions to one of our expert career coaches. Next slide. And here is Tiffany Ramnarine, our career development practitioner. Tiffany has worked with Devant for a number of years, has an amazing experience to share with you, and she's going to facilitate and answer your questions. You really have an opportunity to talk, to connect with each other. I want to encourage you also to introduce each other. Feel free to use the chat, but we are a small group, so you can also ask questions to Tiffany just one-on-one. So Tiffany, welcome. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I know you've got such great experiences and stories to share with our community today. So the floor is yours, Tiffany. Thanks again so much for being here this evening.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the introduction. And like Sisha said, please feel free to use the chat to introduce yourself. You can put your name, the school, the program that you're currently enrolled in, the type of work that you're seeking, your LinkedIn URL, anything that you believe will be beneficial to your job search. You never know who you might connect with and how they may be able to support you in the long run with your job search. So yes, I have been working in the career development field for quite some time. I'm also a registered social service worker, so thankfully those two skills combined together have been really helpful for me in the field. We don't have a very large group today, so please feel free to take advantage. Honestly, any questions that you have in regards to your job search, any questions that you have with any specifics that you may be noticing, maybe you've been sending resumes off and you haven't heard anything back, please feel free to go ahead and type that in the chat, or you could use the Q&A. So let's go ahead and get started. So everyone is muted at this time. But again, if you do have a question, I believe that we have the option to unmute you. There's no need to use video. So if you're someone who enjoys staying off camera, this might be perfect for you. The session is also being recorded. So once it's completed, we have it saved and downloaded. You will be receiving this through email as well. Like I mentioned, please feel free to use the chat and Q&A. I think we could probably stick with the chat since we're not too large of a group. I don't see that any messages will be getting lost along the way. And then we will also be sharing any upcoming sessions that we have, and those usually take place on Wednesdays. So just a little bit of background and history on Devant. So right now I know it says 48,000, but I believe that needs to be updated to 55. So Devant has supported over 55,000 international students and newcomers with getting hired in Canada. So they offer free advice from career coaches and industry experts at our live events. Devant is actually one of the first organizations that I have worked with and seen, really get ahead of the AI curve and get started with things prior to. So if you have access to the platform, please ensure you're going through the fields and taking advantage of that. And they also support with introductions to partners and employers to support you with your immigration, academic life, and career development. So please feel free to use the chat. If you have any wins this month, for the month of April, let's just even say for the entire year, please go ahead and share in the chat. Maybe you had a really successful interview, you heard back from an employer you've been wanting to hear. Maybe you had an informational interview that went really well. And what challenges have you faced this month? So maybe you're trying a new strategy out, you're implementing something different. I would love to hear what trends you're noticing. What are you seeing on your end as a job seeker? And thank you for those who introduced themselves in the chat. If you joined a few minutes late, you're more than welcome to introduce yourself. Let us know what type of work you're looking for. You can share your URL for LinkedIn and connect with each other. So how are things going on your end, everyone, with your job search? Yep, it is really hard, definitely. That is what I'm hearing across the board. Internship programs in IT, perfect. So is anyone getting interviews? Maybe we're at a second round interview or some phone calls are coming in. And if you feel more comfortable typing your questions in the Q&A, I believe you also have an option to send a question in and be anonymous. So maybe you don't want to put your name in there, that's okay. You can also ask a question and be anonymous as well. So anything that we're noticing in terms of the job search. So I see someone here, they asked some people for advice on how they got the job. And what did they say? What was their advice? Yep, looking for work in healthcare. And what type of role in healthcare? So they said they met the requirements. Absolutely. So meeting the requirements that the job description has listed is definitely important. But nowadays, I find even just tailoring your resume enough to get past the ATS is a huge help. So we can definitely chat a little bit about that, but I just kind of want to gauge where everyone is at in their job search, and what you're looking for. Honestly, this is an amazing opportunity to get your questions answered. Any hesitations that you have, again, I understand what it's like. I've been there. We have bills to pay. We have groceries to purchase. So please, anything that we can do to support, please feel free to put in the chat. So we have a question in the Q&A. It says, do you think volunteering is enough to get a job? So that really depends on your background and what your resume looks like, depending on your field, or if you have, a possible gap in your resume. If you're new to the country, you're looking to build out references, I do recommend volunteering. And again, that's something you can do hand in hand while actively applying for roles. So again, I know it's not necessarily, I don't even enjoy using this term, to be honest, called Canadian experience, but unfortunately it is a bias that a lot of clients that I work with face. So when you have that volunteering experience on your resume, not only are you filling in the gap from immigration and from moving, you're adding that Canadian experience on there as well. If the volunteering opportunity is within your field, then even better. Um, and then you can obtain a reference out of it, right? So hopefully you have a supervisor or a team lead who is there and you can use their name as a reference. Sometimes in volunteering opportunities, I've seen people even get hired at the organization that they volunteer for. The reason being is, you are already familiar with the work, you're already familiar with the staff, the organization, the work that they do. There isn't necessarily a whole lot that they need to do in terms of training, so it's a quick and easy hire. Um, do you think short term is enough or long term? So again, it really does depend on your resume and exactly what it is that you're looking for. And it also depends on how long it takes to secure employment. So I'm assuming this is for the sake of job search. Um, so again, it really depends on how long it takes for you to secure something. So it's hard to gauge. I know you don't want to spend, years working or years volunteering unless, it's something that maybe you're really passionate about, but it's a little difficult to gauge if it's good short term or long term. I would just say get started, see if you're able to find an organization to volunteer with that is within your industry and your background, and then you can kind of decide, okay, how long do I really want to stay here? How is my job search going for me? And really start to network with others who work there. I've been applying for different jobs, but it's really difficult. Is anyone getting any interviews? Is anyone hearing back from employers? No. And are you tailoring for each and every role that you apply for? So for each resume you submit, you're taking a good look at the job description, you're taking a good look at your resume, you're implementing those keywords. Perfect. So you said that you did get your resume checked and you don't have enough experience. So that is where maybe the volunteering might come in handy. There is a website that I'll share here. So I just stopped sharing for a quick second, so I can find it. It's called Charity Village. So this is a website that has tons of volunteering roles and opportunities available. So you can always take a look here. Sometimes they're remote as well. If you're someone who is looking to maybe work from home, maybe that's a little bit easier, especially if it's a volunteer opportunity. So please take a look at that. And then very quickly, I just wanted to include our calendar for any upcoming events. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, perfect. So I see we have a question here. So you're looking for a job in a law office or a law rated related department, organization. Perfect. You need to be licensed, so it's a regulatory role. Of course. So that's definitely something common that we hear. A lot of clients of mine, they arrive to the country with their qualifications, not just the credentials, but the work experience paired along with it. I'm not sure if there's any way or anyone you can speak to who has also gone through the same process. I do find LinkedIn is a really great tool for this, specifically, even if you just kind of go in and you type in paralegal license and you go to post, sometimes you'll see there are people who just received their certification. You can always ask them questions as well, but definitely common. So if you have any questions in terms of your resume, please feel free to type them in the chat. Anything that you've noticed, in terms of applications, you're not getting the traction that you're hoping for. Sometimes Charity Village, if you take a look at that link, you might be able to find, again, I know the goal is employment. I know the goal is a source of income. I totally understand that. But if you find something on Charity Village, maybe it's not a 5 day, a week volunteering role, but even a few days here and there, it might really pay off and help build your resume out for that Canadian practice. Perfect. So I see we have 9 attendees in here. So do we have any more questions? I see a few people who have not contributed yet. So I'm very curious to hear a little bit about your background. And if you're just joining, just know that the Q&A that we have available here, you'll see that in the bar on Zoom. You also have an option to ask a anonymous question as well. Sasha, I just see that we have a hand raised, but I'm not able to unmute. Is that something that you could do on your end, please?
Yes, let's see. Allowed to talk.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep, you can go ahead. I see that you have your hand raised.
Hello, Tiffany. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yep, go right ahead.
Recently, I graduated at Trius College, taking up medical office assistant,
Mm-hmm.
and I completed my internship at Toronto Western Hospital, UHN. So right now, I work as a volunteer because I haven't find a job yet.
Mm-hmm.
Then I applied a lot of I sent a resume in the healthcare industry. I think more than 20 resume, but only one responded, but not sure. So I'm wondering if if something wrong with my resume. I have my counselor, and then she was
Mm-hmm.
able to check my resume, and then she said that it was good.
Yeah.
Then it's I told my supervisor at the hospital if there's an opening in this department, but she said
Mhm.
there's no opening right now. So if you want, you can apply on the website, the UHN website. But I applied even until today, but I
Yeah.
haven't heard from them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So and then because I don't want to stay at home doing nothing, right?
Of
So
course.
I work as a volunteer right now to gain more experience in the healthcare industry, especially in
Mm-hmm.
the hospital, and then to learn new skills. So I know that volunteering is it's great help, right? So
Yeah, that's definitely
it
one of the
can add
pluses
to
that
your
I'm hearing.
resume, yeah. So yeah, so my question was, is this because the labor market for this healthcare industry is very demanding in Canada right now,
Mm-hmm.
in the healthcare industry, but there's a lot of competitions in Toronto, right? But my edge was volunteering, and then I got a diploma at school.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so and then I have a customer service experience for more than 5 years. So in my resume, and then yeah, I I keep applying, and then I work as a volunteer 4 times a week, 10 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then my direct supervisor at the hospital said that if you want to stay with us, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So they want me to keep me as a volunteer in that department.
Yeah, perfect. So I definitely think, a few things that you've mentioned to me. You have the credentials for the role, so you completed the education. One of the pluses about your program as well, I love that there was a placement involved, so that gives you that live experience. And not only that, you still continue to volunteer afterwards. So for me, when I hear that, that sounds perfect. That's music to my ears. Again, as you mentioned, it's very competitive, especially within the GTA. So for me, the way I look at things, I already see yourself having a foot in the door. So as soon as a job posting becomes available that you would be a good fit for, I think you're one of the first people they would put forward. Um, if you have a manager or a supervisor that you work with, I would really ensure that you work on, nurturing that relationship with them to the point where they feel comfortable putting you forward to HR, right? So they want to, you want to make sure you're it's the small things, right? It's showing up on time, it's doing the work effectively, which I'm
Correct,
sure you're
correct. Yeah.
already doing. So I think those things will make a huge difference. And then also, I feel like you have a lot of options to look around for hospitals depending on where and when you're willing to commute.
Yeah,
LinkedIn,
correct. I, I choose I
yeah.
choose the USN from Western Hospital because
Mhm.
I familiar with their system.
Okay, perfect.
Electronic
Yeah,
medical
yeah.
records. And then I've been there for 3 months. So I have
Okay,
a good relationship with my supervisor, and then
perfect,
I can add it
perfect.
to my reference, right? And then she
Yeah, yeah, that
said
can be
that
a reference for sure.
yeah,
And
she said that
and
tell
one of the
me
things
the other
that,
company, and then I can tell you.
yeah,
Or because
perfect.
I'm this volunteering, even though this is a volunteer, I take this seriously.
Yeah,
Like a job.
perfect. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So yeah. So keep applying. Keep applying.
Keep
So
applying. I know. I know you said like 20 or 25 applications and one response. Unfortunately, that's kind of the ratio that a lot of people are dealing with. So it's definitely, again, paying attention to the seasons, the time in the fiscal year, all of those things do make a difference. I do find, spring is when things tend to pick up a little bit, and then around the summer, it tends to slow down. People are on vacation. HR is out of office, staff managers are out of office, so it slows down a little bit. And then in the fall season, it kind of picks up again. So I would say, between now to like June, definitely be a little bit more aggressive than usual, because you'll notice that dip in in the summer holidays as well. But yeah, I think, one of the things that I had flagged earlier was if you're a volunteer, it might be a quick and easy hire because you're already familiar with the organization, you're already familiar with staff, and then one of the things you mentioned is that you're already familiar with the software. So why would they want to
correct.
go and train an entirely new person on everything that you already know and everything that you've already been doing? So this is a prime example of when volunteering would be beneficial.
Yeah, correct. And then there's no gap, right?
Yeah,
If I
exactly.
graduated, March 7, and then
Absolutely.
started my internship, I completed, and then volunteering, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Perfect.
Stephanie. Thank you for
Yeah,
your
thank
advice.
you for
Yeah.
sharing. I really appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your help.
Perfect. So I see Trisha says not true for volunteer organizations. So which part is not true? And does anyone else ha feel like they want to unmute and share a little bit about their story and their background with their job search? Maybe it might be easier to unmute versus typing in the chat. Okay, perfect. Sisha, we have a few other people who would like to unmute. I have Trisha and Camel Deep.
Okay, so I'm just going to see Camel Deep, see if
Yeah,
it can work.
and Trisha. I'm not sure if maybe we could just give everyone access just to make it a little easier.
Yeah, I'm just going to do Trisha. Okay.
Perfect.
Yep. You can
Okay.
go ahead.
Yeah, go
Can
right
you
ahead.
hear me now?
Yep,
Can
I
you
can.
hear me? Okay, so my experience, well, I'm a graduate for some time now, and I've been volunteering with two organizations, one for about 6 months, the other about five.
Mm-hmm.
And for one, um, they had, so while I was volunteering, I saw another position that they had that was a paid position, and I indicate my interest. I was totally ignored. And what I was volunteering for, I in that same particular organization, they asked me to take a lead on something, and then behind my back they retracted. And I've not. I'm a very vibrant person, and because of that, I've lost some what you call it interest. I do participate, but I'm not giving my full. You understand what I'm saying?
Of course, yes.
I think that was not right at all. I've
Mhm.
done volunteering. I've been volunteering for many years of my life.
Yeah.
I've never been treated that way before.
Mm-hmm,
Even
mm-hmm.
though I participate, I not giving my full because I know how dedicated I am.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's another one I'm volunteering, and I'm not even sure about that. There might be
Mm-hmm,
another promissory note.
mm-hmm,
So um, I'm a foreigner here too, and what I find strange about volunteering, because I'm a graduate of Lambda,
mm-hmm,
I've been doing volunteering work for many years. When I say many years, over 20 years. And what I've observed with the volunteer work here is at one point I volunteer for areas that I have an interest in or maybe an
mm-hmm.
area I want to develop certain skills, right? What I've observed with volunteer work here, even but I guess right after studies or during the studies, I it's like they want you to volunteer something that they how should I put it? I want to be diplomatically correct. They want persons like foreigners to volunteer on things that maybe the locals won't be interested in doing. So it's like I wouldn't consider it's like you're more I wouldn't say coerce, that's too much of a
Mm-hmm.
strong word,
Mm-hmm.
but you're more wanted directly in things that they don't want to do, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, like the responsibilities are not aligned with what the other staff maybe are doing.
Not exactly that. So volunteer is you choose what you would like to do and
Mm-hmm.
what you want to where you want to spend your time. The impression I got when I learned about volunteering here in Canada, it appears that they want foreigners to volunteer in things that the locals don't want to do,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that may be. You understand what I'm saying? So you might
Um,
not necessarily have an interest in it,
yeah.
but they want you to volunteer in things that locals don't want to do. It's like,
Mhm.
and I remember I was came in the pandemic and they had volunteer up to 20 hours per week with no
Yeah.
pay, and they wanted you to physically go there. That's not volunteer. I think to me that's not volunteer work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you had a negative experience at the
It, it,
organization volunteering here.
yeah. You can't expect somebody to volunteer 20 hours per week without pay. That's no, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have to physically go there, and that was during the pandemic. And some of those I
Yeah.
found on some of those sites that you're recommending. Um, volunteer is no guarantee here to get in a job. I can tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm sure, and that just to say that is my experience. Other persons might
Yeah,
have
there's
other
there's
experience.
definitely two sides of things, for sure.
Right.
But if someone's looking to fill in a gap or they're looking for, to build out their references, I definitely believe it can support, but it's not 100% guarantee for a job.
No.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing that, Trisha.
So you can mute me again?
I believe you will have to mute yourself. I think if you look at
Oh,
the
yes.
Zoom bar, you'll see that. And I see Kamaldeep was asking a question on how to unmute. So I think on your end you might see that little bit of that if you're on Zoom and you're in the session, there's a little bit of that bar on the bottom with all of these different controls and buttons. I think you'll see one that says audio, or I might say unmute. Oh, you see it now. Perfect. So please go ahead, unmute, ask your question, share a little bit about your background so we can get to know you and support. And you don't want to speak on audio. Okay, that's okay. Please feel free to type in the chat a little bit about your background and anything that you're noticing. So for anyone who feels like it might be a little easier to unmute instead of typing out a huge paragraph in the chat, you're more than welcome to do so. Does anyone use LinkedIn for their job search? Does anyone have a full up-to-date profile with a profile picture that is not their passport picture. They have, you know, a LinkedIn background picture, strong headline, summary. So you've completed a two-year diploma in travel last year. You had an internship and you still were not able to find any travel job in the travel field. Okay, and have you had any interviews? Has that resulted in any interviews with the applications that you've been putting forward? While you're typing, I'll go ahead and answer a question that we have in the Q&A. It says, did community volunteering help get PR for students in the future? So I think when it comes to securing PR, I believe there might be a certain like a certain type of role that you need to secure. So again, I just based off of what others have mentioned to me, there's the NOC code, so the NOC codes. I do believe for PR, it does need to fall within a certain code in order for it to be valid. So again, maybe volunteering supported in the initial stages of your job search with filling in your gap, providing that Canadian experience and reference that you may require. But I don't think having volunteering experience alone in itself is enough to secure PR. So she said if she was hiring, but she said we need more experience. Of course, right? It's like, how am I supposed to get experience if you don't hire me? And you won't hire me due to me not having enough experience. So it puts everyone in a bit of a pickle. Perfect. I can go ahead and move on to some next slides. Um, so we kind of are already going through this. So what questions you have about job searching in Canada? If anyone has any questions that they have not yet asked, please feel free. Again, we end at 8 p.m. So just wanting to make sure anything that comes to mind, it doesn't matter if you think the question is silly, there's no such thing as that. It can be something small, it can be something, a situation that you're noticing or facing. I did share in the chat earlier the link for upcoming sessions, so I'll go ahead and put that in the chat again. So I will go ahead and share that next Wednesday, there is an immigration Q&A, so if anyone has any questions in regards to what IRCC is up to, or any questions in regards to status, anything in regards to work permit PR, I would highly recommend attending the session. And then on Wednesday, April 30th, which, you know, I can't believe is already here, which is the last day in April, we have a session called From New Arrival to Financial Pro. And this is also sponsored by CIBC. So I have the link there in the chat. You're more than welcome to go through any upcoming events and get yourself registered and set up. Does anyone have any more questions? I'll just go ahead and complete the next slides, and if anyone thinks of anything, you're more than welcome. I know I sound like a broken record, but I really want people to take advantage of this session that they have, especially, you know, it's for you, so we definitely want to make sure You're getting your questions answered and you're receiving the support that you need in order to be successful. Okay, perfect. So just to continue, a few of our services that we offer. So we do have the one-on-one career coaching. So that is where you're able to meet with either myself, and we have many other qualified career coaches as well. So you can get feedback, which is a little nice one-on-one. This is in regards to your resume, job search strategies, and LinkedIn presence. So I do find that our is meaningful, it is helpful, and it's kind of like that boost that you need of motivation to kind of get things going again. I understand the job search process can be a lot mentally, emotionally, financially. So sometimes it's really great to have a chat with someone who can really relate and kind of provide to be that sounding board moving forward. Secondly, we offer LinkedIn profile audits. So you will be receiving custom advice from a career coach covering exactly what should be on your LinkedIn profile and how exactly to support you with your job search goals. Lastly, we have resume and cover letter writing. So you will get your documents written by a professional so that they effectively communicate your skills and experience to Canadian employers. So just a little disclaimer at the bottom there. If you are already registered with a college or a university, most likely you will have access to their career services center as well. So just ensure you're double checking, with them as well before you make that investment with their services. And there's my little pitch there. So if you are looking to meet one-on-one, I'd be more than happy to support and meet with you. Again, I understand what it's like when it comes to job searching. It's not easy. I've had my fair share of frustrations, feeling discouraged, back-to-back rejections. It's not really somewhere that is enjoyable, honestly. So that is actually what made me get into the field because I was a job seeker and I did not enjoy it. But now I'm thankful every day I have the opportunity to help, right? So, especially with this market, we've had to come up with a lot of different ideas, a lot of different ways to also be able to stand out in the field. Sisha, I see that you have your camera on. Did you want to chat a little bit about the upcoming event?
Yes, that would be great. Thank you so much, Tiffany. And thanks everyone for your honest participation. I just want to add one thing. One of the things that we try to do at Devant, and we have actually been successful in helping to connect newcomers and students to employers. One of the events that I will be helping with in the summer will be for the class of 2025. We are offering our second career launch conference. Last year, we offered this, over 1,300 people registered. We had top employers join like RBC, we had Scotiabank, we had Google, the Canadian Home Builders Association, we had Kibby, we also had the Black Founders Network of Entrepreneurs. So one of the areas I feel the frustration and maybe the uncertainty is around networking. And we heard feedback that it is a long process, and sometimes you're not sure how the dots connect. And I can hear some of the conversations around volunteering as well. And I think, volunteering is one tactic that helps you, to build relationships, but it's not the only option. But it has been something where I've seen people can get confidence, they get to meet people, and then from that volunteering, you get to learn about other events or you get to meet other people. So I would be strategic with the volunteering that you're doing, thinking about what are the companies that I'm volunteering with. And, I really appreciate what Trisha shared around her experience, because sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's the truth, right? And sometimes it does. So I think that being strategic, thinking about what are the customers I want to interact with, what are the companies I want on my resume, and if you can get a reference, that's a benefit for you as well. But we also recognize that that's not the only tactic that you can use. So we are offering this career launch conference for those who are graduating in the class of 2025 to meet with professional recruiters. We also offer Ask a Recruiter events once a month. And the next one will be coming up in May. And that's another opportunity for you to ask questions and meet recruiters. In addition to that, there are sessions around networking. So we are expanding opportunities for you. But the reality is, these are once a month events. So we hope that you build the confidence and that you can also even connect with each other to build your confidence in building professional networks. So this is helping you to tap into the hidden job market. I think what's happening with a lot of newcomers, Tiffany, and international students, is that they're only applying maybe to the jobs that they're seeing on the websites or advertised. However, those jobs, as we know, are only a very small percentage of the jobs that are actually available. So I also just want to mention one other resource. Devant has partnered with Kibby, which is a mobile app. It's a free mobile app. It is a job sourcing tool that you can use to find jobs in your local area. It is free, and it's a great tool that is available to all of you. And finally, I just want to mention that for those of you who are attending events, sometimes we do get requests from recruiters. We are posting jobs as well. So I just want to encourage you to stay engaged. I know it's difficult in terms of staying motivated, and we're hoping that we're providing a space here so you know that you're not alone, that you can share your experiences with others, and that you can help each other. So definitely reach out, stay in touch on LinkedIn. And Tiffany, it's just been so great to have you here with all of your ideas and suggestions, to have an open, safe place where people can talk, from everything from frustrations to successes. Kibby is Kibbi. It's free on the Play Store. And I also wanted to mention that there are even like news, events, there are articles. It's really a community of support for newcomers to help you in your settlement. In addition to that, I do want to mention that at our Get Hired at Home event, we were able to connect 800 job seekers through interviews and also sharing their contact information directly with recruiters. So when you go to these virtual events, don't forget to follow up with the recruiters, with people that you met. But in addition to that, you are also going to be applying online. So you're never not going to apply online. That's just a part of the process. But the magic happens when you meet people and they've met you a few times. Like, I do see some common names here, so I'm getting to know you. So that's what happened when you show up and you're present. So congratulations to all of you for being here today. And Tiffany, again, thank you so much, for your assistance in answering these questions. I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware that we do have that career launch conference coming up. It's going to be June 18th. There will be a number of employers. We're also partnering with different cities. So want to encourage you also to stay in touch with us, take advantage of the career coaching. For those of you who are in the Sarnia-Lambton area, there is a extension of a free coaching hour that is available for those of you who are in your last year of study through the Sarnia Economic Development Group. So it's called the Career Accelerator Program. You can Google it or just go on to the Sarnia-Lambton Economic website, and you can get access to 1 hour of free career coaching offered by Devant, paid for by the Sarnia-Lambton City. Okay, so good luck to everyone. And Tiffany, again, thank you so much. I'm just going to encourage everyone as well. Would love to hear your feedback because we are always arranging these events. So I'd love to ask you to share your thoughts around your feedback. What are some of the topics that you'd like to see? We will be offering at least 3 events a month. We're also going to be including a wildcard event. At the end of the month, there will be a financial series and a financial tips session. Anyone who's looking to understand how to manage your budget, helping you transition from a student to a professional, or from a student to a graduate. Really looking forward to assisting you with your financial questions as well. That's sponsored by CIBC. So please feel free to join that and share with your friends. And I hope to see you guys again soon. At this time, I'd like to just sort of end our session and thank Tiffany. Please show Tiffany our appreciation for tonight. I know you've got a full day as well, Tiffany, and you joined us this evening. So thanks again for always giving so much, to newcomers and international students, and for being part of the Devant community.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of those who attended and asked questions this evening. I just want to wish you all good luck with your job search. Please prioritize self-care during this time. Don't forget to take care of yourself, take your rest, and come back recharged and refocused. Okay? Enjoy the rest of your week, everyone.
Bye, everyone.